There's 3 reasons for them to do this. That is to cultivate community among people. The second thing is cultivate economy. It means more money ends up in the hands of people. And the third thing is it cultivates more mutual delight because people don't live on bread alone. Because we are concerned about people having happy, meaningful lives, we went to the local school of public health and we said, help us measure mutual delight. And he said, well, we can establish a baseline of parties and to see how many parties there are that go on now in the community, and over the course of years, do that number of parties increase? And if the number of parties increase, we figure mutual delight is increasing. One of the reasons we intentionally work connecting people both inside and outside of the community around gifts that they share is because when people get to know one another, that's how people get jobs. People in low-income communities or communities on the fringe of SARD, disabilities, other things, is people are isolated. And so what we're doing is putting people into situations where they're not so isolated anymore. So we don't have a jobs program, but people get hired.
So we don't really go out and necessarily listen for concerns. I mean, if you listen for concerns, you're going to get street lights and roads and stuff. And what we want to know is what gets that person off the couch to do. What are they doing that they love or people love that they do? And that's a whole different conversation than necessarily what their concerns are. In a perfect world, we would try to hopefully get to see their gift in action and meet people that have that feel the same way about, or say, hey, this person is an excellent cook, or they're great at taking care of the elders or children or whatever, gardening or whatever gift it is. So, hopefully we get to see that type of gift and talent in action. We would be also like to play connector. So we want to, if they're not getting paid for this, or we would like to see them get paid for their gift, or if they don't need money, that we'd like to see them offer their gift to somebody that needs that gift.
I have been a Roving Listener for 10 years. From me starting from when I was 12 years old, I've seen change, because when I was just that 12-year-old little girl to about 15, 16, everybody was still outside on the porch. So what I mean by that is they probably were struggling at the time. Now when I rove, it's nobody out. We have to make time. So by me saying that is they're working now, They found resources. By us going out with them, connecting them with other people in the community, they found resources within their own community. When our conversations are started off by, they were always asking, for help, and now they ask, what can we do? Now they're looking for artists, daycares, they're looking for
just new skills.
New skills, but we also have theater, people who want to open up run their own theater now. So it's different resources from when we used to rove. They were looking for help, they were looking for food, they were looking for shelter.
And we found out we had poets, lawyers, and musicians and gardeners in our community that we found out about because we having these conversations, building these relationships with our neighbors, and it's bring joy to our community ears. Like, wow, we got that. So now I feel like I could be that when I grow up. And we had teens that wanted to become lawyers and stuff like that, and want to figure out more about it because we connected them with a guy in our community that stayed on the 2900 block of Delaware, who was a prosecutor, and he gave them tips about what they should do and what his story was. And he came from the far east side of Indianapolis, and he talked about how he was homeless and stuff. He had to sleep in his car when he was growing up, and how he talked about how his story was he never gave up, and it's all about perseverance. We've met a person who used to play basketball, a coach that played basketball. So what we did was we had a lot of kids in the community that wanted to learn how to play basketball and stuff like that. So we connected them and their parents together, and he became a trainer for the kids to be better basketball players.
So roving listeners pay attention. So I would say listening is a part of paying attention, but I think over the years we've started saying more about how this work is really paying attention, because sometimes it's your nose that tells you, sometimes it's your eyes that tell you, sometimes it's your ears. When Rachel, who was one of the pastors here, left, she used to oversee a lot of the administrative stuff with the summer, but she also provided kind of direct leadership. Well, she left, and then I didn't have extra time, so I turned to Jaden and Jada. I said, okay, you're in charge. Rachel used to do a lot of the hiring and firing, but they do it now. And man, if somebody get fired before, when Rachel would do it, people would come and complain. When they fire somebody, it's like, okay.
And is that because they know them?
Yes.
Because they're part of the community?
Yes.